Hi, Sagittarius. You know, I always used to sing your name, Sagittarius, because I felt like I stuttered. It's like I had to do it a certain way to be able to get it right. And now it's easier because we've been practicing for a while, right? Overcoming fears or things like that. So welcome to this space and welcome back if you're returning. Okay, so you have the same card in the center as Scorpio did. This card of success. This has a black puma or jaguar, panther animal on it. So I don't know if there's black animals or felines that you connect to. Since this is in a more open space, I suppose any animals like spirit medicine could be your totem too. For some of you connect to that, but there's something where Jaguar, let's take this as Jaguar. Jaguar is really potent medicine, right? Any black animal to me is very potent medicine. Even the black goldfish, right? It does an interesting job, but it's so powerful. Sometimes the way to be successful with this medicine is to be patient, because you may understand, like a person may understand something when this medicine is around. One person comprehends something deeply, but not everyone else or that which they're connected to necessarily understands the same thing at the same time. So one needs patience to. Part of this success is sort of feeling good about the future, right? But then also patiently waiting, because feline cat medicine is actually very chill, right? They usually are just not exactly lounging, but they retain a lot of energy. But then when they're gonna pounce, when they're gonna hunt, it's all very calculated, and they can be extremely fast. But it's so I guess part of how you succeed at this time, and I do see some kind of success coming with this card. This card to me is always like a like so excited that something happened, or so excited that people are on the same page, right? Something maybe even contractual for some of you. Someone that's helping. This is someone helping someone else, right? And someone's so grateful for, both sides are actually very grateful for the situation. This is almost like old friends seeing each other too, like where you haven't seen somebody in a long time, or you're just, again, so happy to connect with what you're connecting with, okay? Let's see your second card. Okay, we have the Two of Swords. This card's pretty zen. Or I heard someone saying to themselves, or someone saying like, everything's going to be okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. There's like a confirmation of that. Or there needs to be, to help something maybe feel more steady. Hold on. Let's keep going. Oh, Temperance. I love this card in this deck. It's a couple that really love each other. There's two people here that really love each other. So there's men and women in your life, females and males both, that you want to think about the positive males and females that you have in your life. This could be through work, it could be friendship, romantically, it could be your teacher, it could be your dentist, it could be, there's just appreciation. Let's go one more. Could also be your children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, etc. Now we have the Empress. So you have two majors. That's really beautiful. You know, like when a kid falls down and they haven't fell down like that many times in their life, and they're still trying to figure out, like, okay, when I fall, what kind of reaction do I get when I do this? Right? There's like a testing, and depending on that which is outside of it, the way it responds to that is what the child learns, which is it creates this learned behavior, right? Like, for instance, say again, you know, when a toddler falls and then they look straight to the parent and they start to do the boo, like their little lip shakes, but then the parent goes, because it can assess that something major isn't actually wrong, it was just a boo-boo, right? Then they just go, it's okay, come here. And you're like, oh, let me see that. Let me see your knee. Is it okay? And then you give it a kiss. And then all of a sudden, look at this child's face. Even though they're bleeding, it's like they're both smiling, right? Interesting. Do we want to go all the way back there? I guess you could learn about your nurturing, or what you're learning about nurturing yourself, other people, how you're nurtured by other people, this kind of triangulation, right? You're sort of in the middle. I guess you could look at, where is it when you were little or younger and you hurt yourself, and someone, some way or another, something was like, it's okay, and could ease your pain. Try not to, I don't think it's the time to think about where you're missing that. It's more about, think about the time where who you felt safe with when you were little. Okay? Or who you felt safe with in your life in general. Or like, even if you were hurt, you knew someone would help you. You know, if you needed help, someone would help you. Okay. So let's look at, because you have this card of success, I feel like all these cards are suggesting a way for you to have the most success. So let's see here. The first one talks about being a good listener, especially at work, especially with friends, any kind of, like, you know, really, really listen. Because you may actually, I don't know, you could receive a compliment, or not that you're doing it on purpose, but like you could receive a compliment. You could, someone could say something and it really inspires you, and you're like, oh yeah, I've been looking for that piece, or like, God, I was trying to remember that word, or, you know, you put some pieces together by listening. This is also working together with other people too, where you're kind of like, maybe this is Queen of Swords here, so it's very, this is, I guess, in ways of success would be having a conversation, particularly probably with females, would be helpful, like a homegirl or homeboy, depending. That of the same sex would be helpful. And this isn't like having like a complain fest or anything like that. It's not even talking about the hard stuff. It's talking about like Like, I hear this person saying, like, okay, so you want, and kind of weighs it out, and the other person's like, yes, that's exactly, yes. And they're like, okay, so for us to go about this, this is how this would happen. So there must be at least two people in the situation that are working together to ensure something of a bigger quality. Okay? Wider situation. This is also meeting, like, I don't know if this is on lunch because they're outside. That might also be helpful. Go out to lunch. Meet during the day, because I keep hearing someone be like, wow, we haven't caught up in so long. It's so nice to see you. Something like that. Talking about the good things. Another way for you to succeed, again, is this Two of Swords, which she's sitting on the ground. She is quiet. She has her eyes closed. Her hands are open in ways of receiving. Okay? Sort of has her head bowed in reverence. She's also barefoot. So maybe that could just be something, even if it's just for like 2 minutes. Kind of. I mean, for you, 20 seconds is probably a really long time, right? I would also say if you have children or if you have young ones around some way, somehow, it could also be where see, remember, your influence is very important. Because when someone is like quietly praying, like say you go into a place and someone's praying, like it's almost like going into a library, right? Where you all of a sudden have this respect where you're like, oh, I should be conscientious of myself. It's almost like when you'd go to your grandmother's house, right? And as soon as you walked through that portal, you were more conscious of yourself. You recognized you weren't supposed to just rush around, right? You would be very intentional and soft in what you're doing and what you're saying, right? Things like that, listening to, right? So there's something there. If it's hard for you to meditate or it's hard for you to sit quietly for some reason, maybe there's things you could hold in your hands, like not tight like a fist, but just sort of something to help you. I mean, it could even be stones where it's like something to help you find, right? Isn't this what people do as a visualization for balance, right? It's like being able to feel that. Another way you can succeed is to be romantic in some way or another. This other one was more daytime. This is nighttime. So if you're married, I'd say a date night would be really nice. Get a babysitter and have a nice date night. Or go out to dinner, and get a babysitter or something. This is definitely being grateful that this table is full of food. I guess Easter's coming, so there's always a holy day, but this is a lot of gratitude. Like, really, there's so much here. There's a lot of effort that was put into something, and I see that it's deeply appreciated. Someone's actually really impressed that someone went through putting forth the time that they did. This could also be where some of you could meet a new person, maybe if you go to like a dinner party or something like that too. You might want to ask yourself what you're also wanting a little bit more. I mean, all these people are happy in these cards, which is beautiful. So this is, again, no, everyone's so happy. I like that. All right, and then again, to close this last success is the Empress. So I suppose if you have children or, again, little ones around, this person's actually gardening, so maybe you could teach a bit of what you know to your children or grandchildren, those that are younger than you in your life. I would definitely say remember to smile more. I guess because these cards too have others around them, except for this one solo, you do need that quiet time, but I'd say half the time, you know. It would actually be really helpful for you to be around other people and of different ages, again, male and female. But be gentle. All of these cards are very gentle. Lots of eye contact too. I keep seeing with this Temperance, someone's like, man, how do you do that? They're wondering like how someone does something. But the thing is it's not even like they're really, I mean, they're trying to an extent, right? They've been working. I see someone here that's been really working on their happiness and trying to find their center. And so they can find more joy. I got a baked potato, hold on. Just a minute, Sag. Perfect. With Temperance and the Empress too, this could also be an expansion of love in some kind of way. I guess this is a bit of Jupiter, Venus, which have been very close in the sky. They've been traveling together, which is an expansion of creativity and love. It's also faith in love. It's if any of you have like felt like you've been trying to find, like if you've been more in this cat shadow energy a little bit, I feel like you'll be coming out of that. And I guess with this the Empress next to all of this food too is I would be, maybe pay attention a little bit to what you're eating or how you feel after you take in something, right? And I suppose a bit of that whole process is releasing. How do you feel after you release something? How do you feel when you take it in? could take a little time to think about relationships overall too. Again, to your children, your grandchildren, nieces and nephews, to your spouse, to your, who you work with, or who your creative people, your homegirls, your friends, whoever it is. Like maybe it's just sending some peace into those places. I don't know. Because a bit of the success too with this Jaguar is also sort of allowing some things. It's like you got to wait for the wind sometimes to be right to fly your kite. You know what I mean? If you try to push it and make it like under your timeline exactly, like the human, I suppose you just burn yourself out. So make sure you're giving yourself a little zen time, Do you have a special place you like to sit, like in your house or in your home, Okay. Oh, your song. I almost forgot. Let's see what your song is. Sagittarius. Just a minute. Let's read the lyrics. It says, I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms again. You come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. How deep is your love? 'Cause we're living in a world of fools. Oh, it says, I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. Beautiful. That's by the Bee Gees, actually. I'm not a huge fan of the Bee Gees, but I like the lyrics of that. So, the depth of love, something to think about, because I feel like it's all around you. And maybe a part of it is now that it's around you in these new ways, right? Or this is growing and again expanding. This is also getting to know the depth of love of life, whether you are around people or whether you're alone, right? And recognizing your circle and support, because there's a lot of it here, okay? You don't have to figure it all out yourself if you don't want to, right? Actually, who is your teacher, or who has been your teacher recently? Whether it's purposely or just someone that's been teaching you a lot. Another person, who is that? Who has taught you some major lessons lately, and maybe what are they? Maybe you want to write about them or something like that. That may help you to unlock some more, like realize where you have the key to some doors, okay? Key to another door. All right. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your love and sympathies and empathies and kindnesses and support. Your patience, your wise counsel. You teach some strong, you and Pisces teach strong lessons to people in like a weird sideways way. Thank you. How deep would you like your love to be, too? You know? I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.